The hope and optimism surrounding the ceasefire in Gaza is being tested this morning. 5 Palestinians were killed by Israeli forces after they crossed an agreed withdrawal line and approached Israeli soldiers. Israel has also announced it'll close the Rafah border crossing into Gaza because Hamas has failed to release the bodies of all dead hostages. But in news just in, the IDF has confirmed 4 more bodies have now been returned, meaning 8 in total, but there are still dozens more remaining. 300 aid trucks will now move into Gaza tomorrow, which is half the promised amount. US President Donald Trump called on Hamas to release all the remaining bodies, and during a cabinet meeting at the White House this morning, made a strong demand that Hamas give up its weapons.
If they don't disarm, we will disarm them. They know I'm not playing games, okay? Now, we did something monumental. We got the hostages back. That was the first thing we had to do. Above all else, get the hostages back. Now, they misrepresented because we were told they had 26, 24 of dead hostages, if we can use those terms. And it seems as though they don't have that because we're talking about a much lesser number. But that's a very tough subject. I want them back. That's what they said. I want them back. Also, they said they were going to disarm. And initially speaking, they needed, they did take out a couple of gangs that were very bad, very, very bad gangs, and they did take them out. And they killed a number of gang members. And that didn't bother me much, to be honest with you. But we have told them we want to disarm, and they will disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm. Do you understand me?
Yes. You say
because
quickly.
Everyone says, oh, well, they won't disarm. They will disarm. And I spoke to Hamas, and I said, you're going to disarm, right? Yes, sir, we're going to disarm. That's what they told me. They will disarm, or we will disarm them. Got it?
David Blevins has more now on that cabinet meeting in Washington and the press conference from DC.
The issue of the Hamas commitment to disarm. That will be the headline, I think, from this short press conference he's had. If they don't disarm, we will disarm them. He said he hoped it would happen quickly, but it could happen violently. He also went on to say that his people had been in touch with Hamas and they'd made a firm commitment to give up their guns in due course, and he was confident they would stick to that. So he then proceeded to talk about his other concerns related to the peace deal in the Middle East, particularly around hostages, as you heard. He said they had promised to release the remains of more hostages than they've actually done, and that he wants them back. So this whole issue clearly remains the focus of the president's attention, despite the fact that they have only been able to complete phase 1 of the peace deal at this stage. On his return from the Middle East overnight, he was adamant that he had not been too soon to suggest that the war had completely ended there, because he believes that actually is what has happened. He's had a very punishing schedule for the last couple of days, returning from Israel and Egypt in the middle of the night here to the White House. He's currently meeting with the president of Argentina. They're also dealing with quite a lot on the agenda, given that Argentina is just a couple of weeks from midterm elections, and that the United States has recently bailed out the Argentine economy to the tune of $20 billion. And clearly Argentina wants more financial support to shore up its economy. For the United States, what's in it for America right now? I suppose greater influence in Latin America in a bid to counter any Russian and Chinese influence that is growing there.